Lots of people are considering retiring in Arizona. But when we think of the two largest cities, that would really be Phoenix or Tucson. When I say Phoenix, I'm talking about the entire Phoenix Valley. That would be Phoenix, Scottsdale, Anthem, Goodyear, Buckeye. All of those places would be the Phoenix area. When we talk about Tucson, we're thinking about places like Green Valley, Oro Valley, Marana, Oracle. All of those places would factor into the Tucson proper area. I don't expect that you guys are going to live in the downtown of either of these cities, but today I want to give you a general idea of what the differences are, and that might help you make up your mind which city you want to look at when you come here for your house hunting trip. The first way that these two cities differ from another is just size. Let's be honest, Phoenix is the bigger city. About 5 million people are living in the Phoenix area now, but I don't want you to panic. 55 plus communities are generally not located in the downtown area, even though I wish there were maybe some cool high-rise condos or something, but there's not. But the 55 plus communities are built and developed using affordable land, which typically is way out on the outskirts of town. Now, in some instances, we have communities where the city has grown up to the boundaries of those communities, but you're still not right in the middle of all of the traffic. When we think about the Tucson area, they might have about 1 million people in the entire metro area now, much, much smaller. There are pros and cons to both. Some people like a little smaller town. Other people like a larger city so that there are more things for them. And we'll talk about some of those things here in just a minute. Both cities have a great university community. In the Phoenix area, of course, we have Arizona State University. We also have Grand Canyon University and then some other smaller community college type places. In the Tucson area, of course, University of Arizona. Why does this matter? Well, if you like college sports, you've always got a football game, a basketball game, you've got major event centers, and both schools will have some really cool programs for older adults to go and audit classes, which I think is really cool to keep using your brain, staying active mentally, and hang out with other people as well as young people. Just kind of a cool thing to do. So if you've always thought about retiring in a college town, both of these cities are not really known as the quintessential college town, but they do have cool little college areas that you can hang out at and experience that scene while you're there. Now, one of the things you guys ask me about a lot is healthcare. If I actually do get on this scooter, we know I'm going to need some healthcare, so I'm going to step away from the scooter now. But both cities have good healthcare. Phoenix, being bigger, has bigger healthcare. They have got multiple health networks. You've got, of course, Mayo Clinic. In the Tucson area, they've got multiple health networks as well. And each city does have a good-sized VA hospital that will work out well for those of you who are veterans. You will be well taken care of no matter if you need a good primary care physician or physical therapy that I'm going to need if I get on this scooter, or if you need bigger specialty care. You're going to have it in each city. I think our healthcare here in Arizona is very state-of-the-art. One thing we do have here in the state is multiple medical schools. I want you to know that where you have medical schools, you've got research. Research brings bigger opportunities for treatment. So you've got medical schools in both Phoenix and Tucson, and that is going to bring us the most cutting-edge ideas and treatments that are out there in the world today. Now, if you're a foodie, both cities are great. I kind of think that possibly, and there's no scientific research that I've done here, Quite possibly Tucson is a more foodie town, but that just could be because it is smaller, and so it feels a little more local. They don't have 50 million Applebee's on every corner. Is Applebee's even still open? I don't know, but you guys know what I mean. They've got some really cool, independently owned, I hate to say mom and pop, but owned by people, not corporations, kind of restaurants. And whatever you want Mexican, they'll have Tex-Mex, they'll have regional Mexican, they'll have all kinds of good Mexican food, and then Italian food, and all of those kinds of places, as well as some of our big chains. Every now and then you just want an Olive Garden and you got to get those breadsticks. Phoenix has a little bit of both. In fact, we've got quite a few things that started local and hit the big time. Barrio Queen Mexican restaurant is one that started by 3 people, and they recently got acquired for $29 million. They're going national. You're going to see them everywhere. So food is a big deal to those of us in Arizona, maybe because so many of us are retired and we're not cooking every night for a family anymore. Why not go out to a good happy hour? So if you are a foodie, both places are great, although I think Tucson is going to be a little more unique and a little more quirky, and so keep that in mind, or visit if you decide to live in the Phoenix area. One of the biggest questions that I get is, what's the temperature difference between the two cities? Phoenix is going to be about 10 degrees warmer. Now, depending on where you're at, might be less than 10 degrees. I know up in the far north end of the valley, it is a lot cooler up there than it is down in the south. Tucson, though, is definitely going to be a lot cooler. So if you're thinking of year-round and you just cannot do any heat at all, Tucson is probably going to be your best bet. They've got some high mountains, and you'll see snow on top of those mountains frequently during the winter months. Does that mean it's snowing in your neighborhood? Well, what they would call snow and what you and I would call snow are two different things. There might be some sprinkles that are going to melt immediately, so it's not like you're going to need your snowblower. You're going to leave that behind where you're living now and come to Arizona without it. But it is going to be a little bit cooler. You're going to need a jacket in the evenings when you're sitting out on a patio, but you're still going to sit out on that patio. It's going to be fine. When we're looking at things to do in our free time, which when we retire, hopefully we have a lot of free time, I'm going to say Phoenix wins just because it's a bigger city. Here we're going to get all of the big events, things like Barrett-Jackson Auto Auction. We get the Super Bowl every few years. We've got the Phoenix Open Golf Tournament. Good news is, for those of you who live in Tucson, you can always come up here and experience those activities. Now, in my lifetime, I'm probably never going to pay the money for Super Bowl tickets, but during that week leading up to any of these big events, they always have a lot of cool stuff going on. So maybe you're not going to the big game, but on Wednesday, you're going to go downtown to a big event and see a lot of cool stuff. So keep that in mind. Don't rule it out. Oh, we won't be going to the Super Bowl. No, you won't, but you might go downtown to the cool stuff. When you talk about outdoor activities, both cities have a lot. I think Tucson probably might win a little bit on the outdoor activities. They've got some bigger mountains. They are known for their outdoor bike paths. There's probably more mountain biking there, although we do have a lot of hiking spots here in the Phoenix area. Each has a good amount of outdoor activities, and then of course you're not far from Flagstaff if you want to go skiing. I think Mount Lemmon in Tucson even has a little bit of skiing, but that's more in your neighborhood kind of thing. So for outdoor activities, you're going to be covered either way. When it comes to air travel, Phoenix is going to be the winner. Just a bigger airport. You've got multiple nonstop flights a day to international destinations. Tucson, of course, is a little bit smaller, but you're still going to have flights. You need to factor in how often are you going to need an airport. I have a lot of people that get real worked up over the airport situation. Maybe a few times a year you're going to be picking somebody up and you might be traveling somewhere. I think both will be adequate. What you want to research is where you're actually flying to. See if there's a price difference between the two and which just might suit you. But I wouldn't pick my city based on the airport alone. When we think about 55 plus community options in Phoenix or Tucson, they're both very good. Both have the big ropes and resort type communities. In Phoenix, we've got Pebble Creek. A little further south, we have Ropes and Ranch. And then, of course, in the Tucson area, in the northern edge, you've got Saddlebrook Ranch. Then there's Saddlebrook 1 and 2, which are a little older. And then down to the south, you've got the fantastic Quail Creek community. Then there are also lots of Del Webb communities in Phoenix or Tucson and in between. We will be able to find you a really nice 55 plus community in whichever city you choose. It's going to come down to preference. Sometimes people will want to be closer to maybe some friends they know from their city they currently live in, and those people are in Phoenix or those people are in Tucson. Maybe your kids are nearer to one city or the other. Those things might make your decision easier. But if you still would like to know more and you're thinking about becoming a homeowner in a 55 plus community, give me a call at the number below on the screen. We would love to be your real estate team of choice. We can schedule a time for a call, and I can tell you everything about the communities that might interest you in your price range, in your situation. I look forward to talking to you very soon.